Dirty Sports, episode 797. We are live on YouTube in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Los Angeles, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Morning, brah.
Morning, brah. Sup, brah?
Back at it again. It's lit, fam. Haven't done that for a minute. Brings you back, doesn't it, Joe?
Brings you back.
I would love to see a list of like things I said for a while on this show, or trends that I hopped on. Always late to.
Yeah, always late to the.
Always late to the game.
You were the official, trend ender. Like once Ruther jumped on your trend, suddenly it was cringe.
And you know, I just will take a trend and just destroy it.
Yeah.
Like, I will just take something and bury it straight to the ground.
Ruther started with trends.
Yeah, could have. Probably did.
And now you're going to end the Bengals playoff drought. Single-handedly. Andy Ruther ending the Bengals playoff drought.
Maybe. We'll see. I think it will end. We'll get to it, obviously. I think it will end, but anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
A trend that I used to be on, the Taco Bell trend, is doing something wild. I posted this on Twitter. Taco Bell is offering a $10 subscription for as many, like, you can eat a taco a day, or I don't know if it's unlimited tacos for 30 days.
Right.
To start your 2022. How gross are we as a country?
Super duper gross.
Like nobody talks about how fucking disgusting we are as a country. Like, think about that. Taco Bell is doing a subscription.
Honestly, it's probably better. It would probably greatly improve the health of people to get their taco subscription if they just went to Taco Bell and had one taco every day, as opposed to going to Taco Bell and spending $40 the 3 times a month you go and just John Dalying your face full of chalupas.
Yeah. It's nuts, though. Like, I saw that. Now, there was a part of me, not going to lie. There was a part of me who thought this would be a great vlog. Like, if you went to Taco Bell, kind of like a supersize me. If you went to Taco Bell every day and maybe did what you're saying, not even go balls to the wall, just one taco every day, but your insides would hate you.
I don't know. You know, everything in moderation. Maybe if you do one taco, it's just like a perfect cleaning agent. It's just like, let's flush your system every day.
I would love to see the numbers on that. How many people are doing the Taco Bell subscription?
I mean, it's a good scam, right? You get people to sign up for $10. They're like, oh, I only need to eat 10 tacos for it to be worth it. And then they go 10 times in the month. They end up getting a whole bunch of other food to go with it. Like, well, I'm here. I should get a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, that's a great scam. So I think it's just one taco. So I'm at their website. You can get one taco a day for 30 days. Only on the app. Oh, that's what they're trying to get. They're trying to get people to download the Taco Bell app.
Right, of course.
Order from the taco lovers menu. So there's specific tacos. This is what's included.
Order from the taco for lovers menu. Couples only tacos.
You can get a crunchy taco, a taco.
We've changed the name of the double decker to 2 tacos spooning.
2 tacos, 1 cup.
Yeah.
Crunchy taco supreme, soft taco supreme, Doritos Locos taco supreme, spicy potato soft taco. I mean, some of these are the ones I would get, not gonna lie. But man, absolutely wild. When we get that Jersey Mike's thing, huh?
I mean, imagine Andy Ruther, king of all social media, former king of all social media, was still on Twitter. There would have been just a 1,000 accounts that you didn't know Andy ran, writing about the Taco Bell 30-day subscription. You're like, man, white people love tacos. Girls love tacos. Black
college kids
love tacos. Things black people love tacos.
Well, again, it would be a good vlog if you documented every single day what you got. I think people will watch that.
I know a guy who can write the theme song.
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just become a Midwest vlogger.
Talk about killing trends. Andy Ruther jumping on the Midwest vlog life. Also get a van, live out of the van for a while.
Somebody do that?
Oh, yeah. Van life is all the rage these days.
Oh, it is? Tell me about it. I don't know about this.
Well, you know about the one girl who was murdered while van lifing, right? You just not on the news anymore? You know the girl that was missing forever?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a van life thing. Clearly, I didn't pay attention.
Yeah. They were vlogging their life. Everybody's just doing van life. They live out of their van, their Sprinter, their whatever. It's literally homelessness, but they've made it hip.
That's pretty wild. I live
out of my car. Yeah. You're homeless.
You're like, people in Venice have been doing that forever.
Yeah. I'm a vintage van lifer. Now you eating your daily taco, or can I have it? Here's some pizza for your dog.
It's funny you say. It's funny you say that. I was thinking about Vince. I've been thinking about Vince lately, and I was thinking about the pizza and Vince, and just laughing how if you didn't watch him when you'd walk him,
he'd pizza rat it. He'd just all of a sudden be dragging a whole pizza.
And I was laughing,
choking on a thing. Homeless guy. Begging you for your money all day, getting 2 slices of pizza and then throwing one as high as he can in the air so that my dog can find it later on. So a fucking 19-pound Karen Terrier can be dragging a 2-pound slice of pizza.
I was also laughing the time I took him to the beach one night and he was in the sand and then I washed him and he did not and you were like, oh dude, what were you thinking? It was just on the fly.
Yeah.
Took Vince to the beach. He was all sandy. I had to wash him. All just bad decision after bad decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the homeless people and the pizza. I to this day, I they talk about unanswered questions with certain conspiracies. That's an unanswered question.
They'll see a half-smoked cigarette and pick it up off the ground and put something from somebody else's mouth into their mouth. But if they drop their pizza and it gets a little bit of sand on it, they're like, well, I'm done with that. That's where that lives forever.
The amount of
Vince finds it 2 days from now.
The amount of half-eaten slices of pizza in Venice Beach is still on the you just got full and you're like, fuck this.
It's halfway through when the meth kicks in and you're like, I'm not hungry anymore.
When's the last time you were at our old stomping grounds? When's the last time you were up in Venice?
I was in Venice on, what was that, last Friday or Saturday. I went out for dinner with my brother at South End and then went over to Mario's now other place and had a couple drinks at Roosterfish.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was talking to some of my fellow Cincinnatians, and they were like, when the Bengals make the Super Bowl, we should go stay at Ruther's old apartment. It's in SoFi this year. I was like, that's a lot going on there. That would come full circle. By the way, I am wearing.
I know I don't know. I just don't even know.
It's kind of a troll job.
What's happening at this point? You're a Bengals fan. You're basically back.
No, I'm not. I'm wearing a Chad Johnson.
Let's talk about a couple things. You're giving up your Chargers season tickets.
Maybe I'm calling them tomorrow.
You're out on the Seahawks. You've thrown Russ under the bus.
No, I haven't.
He's Mr. Limited to you. You took your Russ slurping this year, turned it way down. Odell has ruined your love of the Rams. You're a Bengals fan again. You're basically back on the Bengals train. You're wearing Bengals t-shirts. You moved to Cincinnati. You've been to multiple Bengals games this year under the guise of as an opponent.
Again, well, let's address. You just threw a lot. You threw in a lot of missiles.
Do you remember in what was that, Superman 3, where they like put him in the machine and he's like going between like evil Superman and regular Superman? Basically, we're at the point where Randy Ruther's face and Andy Ruther's face are coming together and like blinking, and soon will become one. Soon it will just be Andy. Can Andy Ruther get a hooday?
No. Well, first of all, I'm wearing this. My dad sent me this, and he sent me this in 2005 when Ocho. It's a great shirt. It's massive on me, as you can see. It's when Ocho Cinco had the mohawk, dyed blonde hair, and I thought it'd be fun to wear since obviously they're back in the playoffs. But no, let's address all those things that you just threw at me, which dirtballs will just always take, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, Prano said it, so it's fucking true." Let's address them.
I love that about the dirtballs.
Let's address them one by
House
one.
of Comedy in BC, Canada, last weekend of the month for all you followers of the great Joe.
Get that plug in up in Canada. So if you're Canadian, go see Joe live, and he can brainwash you some more about things about me. I am not done with Russell Wilson. He had a down year, but he actually played well the last few weeks, and reports are saying they're going to try to salvage it in Seattle. I think it's time to move on for him or Pete Carroll or whoever. I'm not done with Russell Wilson. I still love Russell Wilson. So that is a lie. So don't be saying things that aren't true. The Bengals thing, look, I will not root for them as long as Mike Brown is the owner. And I've said that. I went to 2 games. I went to one game the Chargers were playing them. I was in Chargers gear. The other game, again, my buddy, shout out to Chuck, was like, "Hey, I'd love to fly in. I'd love to visit you. The Bengals play the Niners this year. Why don't I fly in for that?" And it's like, what am I going to say? I'm not going to the game. Oh, yeah, come visit me. Fly all the way out from Northern California. But I'm not going to the game. You can ask any of my friends at that game. I was not clapping once when they scored. I did not high five once. This is a fact. Not one time. I was just a sports podcast host observing a National Football League game. Look, man, I think the Bengals have a good team. I also think a curse is real. I also think they're going to win this week. I'll just be honest. I was saying that before the schedule. This is the perfect recipe.
Now, today, I know you're not on Twitter anymore, your Twitter retirement, but did you see that today there's been a lot of posts on Twitter that this is the 31-year anniversary.
Oh, I know. Bo Jackson,
which a lot of people think may be
the real curse.
The start of the curse. The Bengals injuring. That was the game they lost after their last playoff win. They lose the next week versus the Raiders in an injury to Bo Jackson. Potentially the ruining of what could have been one of the great running backs in NFL history's career.
Yes.
They have not won a playoff game since. They did not win that day. They have not won since. And they play the Raiders this week.
Yeah. Well, not just on Twitter. It's been discussed here for a while. So I've known, and obviously growing up as a Bengals fan. So for those who don't know, it was the Bengals who ruined his career. What was his first name? His last name was Walker. I forget. But I think it was a safety that tackled him. And that was that was the start, like you were saying, of the Bengals playoff losing streak. January 13th, 1991. They lost to this is how long ago we're going back, Los Angeles Raiders.
That's right.
2 cities removed. They lost 20-10 in LA. And since then they've lost, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 playoff games. And haven't won a playoff game since. And you know what? I have vivid memories of all these playoff games, especially the home ones. So look, here we are. 31 years later, and the Raiders are coming to town. It would be coming full circle if they beat the Raiders and they end that curse. And I think they will.
Or will the guy who the Raiders let wear 34 because they give zero fucks about their players' history have a big interception to seal the game?
Look, I said this last episode. I think last week was kind of the Raiders Super Bowl. John Madden's wife was there. They had all this emotion. They were at home. Now they're coming to a city all the way across the country where it's going to be low 30s, complete Midwest, cold football, playoff weather. It's Derek Carr's first playoff game. You have an interim coach. Let's just call it what it is, a 62-year-old interim coach. I mean, this is literally the perfect time for the Bengals to end this curse if they're going to do it. And I stand by what I was saying before. I felt pretty confident if the Bengals had to play anyone else minus the Steelers, I was pretty confident that they would lose again, or at least feel better. I think it's in the Bengals' favor to win this game, all things aligned. But again, you never know, man. I think
it's going to be a good football game. I think it's going to be a good football game.
The spread has dropped. It started 6.5. It's down to 4.5. I do too, but Joe, I wouldn't be shocked if the Bengals won by 2 touchdowns. So when they played in Las Vegas earlier this year, it was a good game. Heading into the fourth quarter, the Bengals won by 19. They blew them out in the fourth quarter. Nixon ran the ball a lot. And I think that's Bengals fans probably don't want to hear this, but that's probably the recipe to beat the Raiders. They don't have a good run defense. Now, if they get to Burrow, if Max Crosby and Ngoku, I don't know how it's pronounced. Like, they're two formidable pass rushers. If they get to Burrow, that's going to be the recipe for the Raiders to win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I think the West to East it might be the difference. But dude, I think the Raiders with interim coach, I think the interim coach is giving them a bump. Like, I think that this team loves the adversity. This team loves all the things that they have overcome. I mean, I know Derek Carr is overcoming it with the power of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. But I just think this team likes the position they've been put in. I agree. I think the last week game is probably going to be, I don't know about their Super Bowl, but they could have a bit of a letdown. I really think it's going to be a good close game though. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I might go in on a Raiders first half money line or something. Like, I could see the Raiders leading at halftime and people being like, what is happening?
And let's not forget, too, I mean, we're focusing a lot on the Bengals. This is only the Raiders' second playoff game since they made the Super Bowl in 2003.
Yeah.
So they haven't won a playoff game since 2003. They're in a big drought. Derek Carr's never played in a playoff game. Last time they made the playoffs.
The year they had a great season, he got hurt in the final weeks. They had to play the kid from fucking Michigan State.
Yeah. Drew Stanton, I believe. If my memory serves me correct. So, yeah, I mean, look, both organizations are trying to get rid of this bump. I posted this on Twitter, and I saw this. I saw this the other day, and you talk about the pressing. And I've said this to be a Cincinnati sports fan, but I didn't realize this. So, of the 4 longest playoff advancement droughts, of the 4 major sports, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, the city of Cincinnati has 2 of the 4.
2 of the top 4?
It's amazing.
Without winning a playoff game /series.
Yes. So the Bengals are at 30 seasons, which leads the NFL. The Reds are at 26 seasons, leading Major League Baseball. We only have 2 pro sports franchises, and we lead both those respective sports for the longest droughts. I mean,
your Bengals are going to win this week, and then suddenly you're going to wake up, you're going to open your eyes, and you're going to realize the Reds have been the Bengals this whole time. pointing Spider-Man meme.
I feel like seeing that stat really, it almost made me feel like I think there's a part of me that wants the Bengals to win for the city, even though I hate their owner and I hate people who give passes to the owner.
I mean, I love the growth that we've seen over this year.
No. Hold on.
Just the personal growth.
I said there's a
We
part
got to go
of
back
me.
to, gotta go back to preseason. You're like, I won't attend another Bengals game. And for the rest of the season, anybody that says that the Bengals are going to win a playoff game while Mike Brown's alive, COVID or not COVID, I'm spitting in their face. I'm going to spit in their face. And then I'm going to hunt them down on Google. And I'm going to go and I'm going to destroy their mailbox while they're asleep. Fuck the Bengals and fuck their idiot fans.
Well, like I said, I think just seeing that stat, you're like, God, that is depressing. It's just depressing. I will never give excuses for how he's owned the team or some of the things ownership has done. But like, you look at that and you're like, not even a win, not even a series.
Now, Andy, we need to talk about this because we've talked about your first cousin, Randy Ruther, a lot of times over the course of the season with the Bengals ups and downs. He's basically the face. He's the embodiment. He's the Twitter persona of everyone that you have, every Bengals fan that you have trolled over the years. Like he is the voice of those people.
You're right.
He hosts this podcast on Monday with me. If the Bengals lose, like what was the bet? I don't even know.
Yeah, so the bet,
are we going to have a welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast? I'm your host, Randy Ruther.
So the bet was if the Bengals won a playoff game, he hosts the podcast with you. If they lost, I got $100 from him. Look, anything can happen.
But there is a chance that you will not be on the show on Monday. Is that the situation? Or
that's the deal. Now, I don't know what that means for you guys as far as the production value.
I feel like I mean, even with that wager in place, I feel like the Randy Ruther and Joe Prano podcast are going to have on as a guest Andy Ruther and in his failure moment. And like the people have been waiting as long as this podcast has been around for you to have to digest a Bengals playoff win. I mean, we're going back 5 years that 6 years, whatever it is, from the Andy Dalton. I mean, the meltdown. You remember? I mean, you were attacking Andy Dalton on all forms of your social media dominance.
Well, yeah. So the official end for me was attending that home playoff game against the Chargers, January 5th, 2014.
It was when the thought of becoming a Chargers fan really started to.
Well, that was when my brother and I jointly decided after the game that we were done because I mean, in a way, you know what's funny? In a way, here's what's actually funny too.
I can just
Joe,
see you and your brother in the parking lot. Like, I think we should be done. Like, I agree, we should be done. All right, let's be done together. And like,
no, you know what's funny?
On hands, cutting your wrists and cutting your palms and squishing them together in a blood pact.
It's very similar to this year in so many facets because of this. The Bengals had beaten the Chargers earlier the year in San Diego. They're coming into town just like this week. Shitty 30-degree playoff weather. Bengals are the favorites. You know, my brother and I said, they've already beaten the Chargers. Now the Chargers California team has to come to Cincinnati. No way the Bengals lose this game. My brother and I say, no way. They have a 7-3 lead at halftime. They lose 27-10.
Now, what is your brother's state of mind these days?
We both made the same pact. It was, we will not root for the Bengals as long as Mike Brown is the owner. And then my brother brought this up last week. He goes, what's kind of funny is you and I never made a claim if he dies and then because his daughter's the number 2 and her husband's like the number 3, basically. He goes, we never really decided because he's 86 now. When Mike Brown dies and then his daughter, her name's Katie Blackburn, when Katie Blackburn then takes control, like we never really thought that far ahead. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. It'll be tough to go right back.
Basically, he's already working out the loopholes for him to return to the Bengals while you in your Chad Johnson t-shirt and you're hoping that for the fans that they win. I mean, this Bengals team, Joe Burrow. He's breaking down the darkest of Bengal souls.
I'm not saying it's not a matter of hope. It's like, I understand. I actually feel bad.
Joe Burrow's like the new Pope. You guys are like, gay Catholics. And he's like, come back to me, my sons. So it's a new regime.
So I just got a text from you and I just got a text from Randy Ruther. I guess I had this all wrong. No, he's still going to host. I'm just going to come on. I'm not smart enough to run a podcast. Okay.
Well, I disagree. I think you should have. I think the first voice everybody hears on Monday's podcast if the Bengals lose is that
if they win.
Randy Ruther, weirdly, even though he's from Ohio, Southern drawl. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Ruther.
Hey, I'm all for it. You know what I will never forget about that game, which bothered my brother and I the most. It wasn't the Andy Dalton turnovers. I'll just speak for myself. It wasn't all that. You know what bothered me the most was we go to the local bar across, it's packed across after the game. And Bengals fans weren't even fazed. It was like they're jumping. And I remember just looking at my brother, and that's back when I drank. And I remember that's what we were disgusted about. He's like, another playoff loss, a game we should have won, a team we already beat in California, and people are dancing and like, why? You should be angry and disappointed. And that's when we were like, we're done. These fans just accept losing. And that was it. It was that day. But look, we all agree, I think, Andy Dalton or Joe Burrow is no Andy Dalton. But you got to protect the guy. So the Bengals gave up the most sacks in the NFL this year. And that's what it's going to boil down to. But I'm just going to say it for the record. I think the Bengals win. And I think they even cover.
I think the Bengals win. And I think it's a field goal game. But I could see it going either way. You turned me all the way around. And you know what? I should pick the Raiders just for the show so that you could so that they win, so that the Bengals do win. Because everything I've said against the Bengals this year, they've done the opposite. But I think I like the Bengals to win, but I think it's gonna be a close game. I like the Raiders fight. I've been a Derek Carr stan for as long as you've been off the Bengals.
You have. You've always been a Derek Carr stan. One thing I'll say about the Bengals that I will compliment them. The official team beer is Miller Lite.
Gotta love it.
So through all these years of disappointment, through all these years of losing, through all these years of heartbreak, at least the Bengals fans have had Miller Lite to give them some cheers. And I don't know anything better than to bring friends together, even through defeat, than a nice cold Miller Lite.
I played golf yesterday, had a few Miller Lite pint cans on the course. The old swing juice. Loosen those old bones. It's beautiful. Glorious mid-70s day here in California. Drinking some Miller Lights, playing a little golf. Looking forward to this weekend, drinking some Miller Lights as I watch football. I found a new bar in my neighborhood, Andy, and they call it Home of the Big Dog. And I was like, what's the Big Dog? You guys sell like big hot dogs? They're like, no, we sell 34-ounce mugs of beer for like $6. And I was like, do you have Miller Lite? And they're like, yes, we do. And I was like, I will see you every Sunday forever.
Amazing. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/dirty sports to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. And if you're going to drink some Miller Lights while you watch NFL Wildcard Weekend, tweet at us. Tweet at us at The Dirty Sports, at Miller Lite, at Fix Your Life, at Andy Ruther. Let us know that you are enjoying what I would deem a holiday, first playoff weekend of football.
Absolutely.
With some Miller
Super
Lite.
wild card weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget, guys, when you share with us, make sure to tag our good friends at Miller Lite. Throw a little at Miller Lite in there so that they can see how much you're enjoying their delicious Pilsner.
Yeah. Well, we've already jumped into the game, so let's just continue it. I'm turned.
Okay.
The next game up, Patriots Bills, round 3. We got a great battle going on between these two teams this year. It's the Saturday night game. The temperature is expected to be absolutely frigid, probably similar to the last time they played in Buffalo, which the Patriots won by only throwing the ball 3 times. Josh Allen struggles when it gets below freezing. Bills are 4-point favorites. Who do you like in the third round?
I kind of like the Patriots. I know it's I feel like everybody, this isn't a hot take. This is like, it's the coldest. I don't want to say it's the coldest take, but it's like the lukewarmest take because it's been laying out on everybody's table all year. But like, I was never really on this Bills team this year. Like, there's a lot of early talk of Josh Allen MVP. This is the year the Bills go to the Super Bowl. I just haven't seen them take that leap. Now, they certainly have an opportunity. You beat your division rival. You beat the coach that's owned you for, the better part of 2 full decades. You take, you put a knife in the back of the king and take over the throne. But I just see the Patriots figuring out. I mean, how many times have the Patriots done this to somebody?
I know. That's how I feel. I think that it's just going to be a low scoring game in general.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's like Mac Jones coming from the SEC has all this experience in these type of games. But I mean, this is like a Bill Belichick game, right? 15, 20 degrees out. It's cold. The wind is whipping. It's all about defense and running the ball.
They're playing in Foxborough West, where Bill Belichick essentially owns the stadium. I know it's the lukewarmest take because I feel like everybody's like on it. It's like, it's so many people are saying it that it's almost one of those things where it's like you almost go against the pilot. But I think the Patriots win the game.
Yeah. I think they do too now. And I picked the Bills to make the Super Bowl. And I don't remember. I might have even picked them to win the Super Bowl.
What was your Super Bowl? Was it like Bills, Cowboys?
Bills, Bucks.
Bills, Bucks.
I think I picked the Bills to win.
You woke up preseason prediction show and you were like, it was Brady the whole time. And you spit in the face of Bill Belichick. And you said, not only are you not winning your division, one of your division rivals is going to the Super Bowl against your old quarterback. But now this season, the Mac Jones year has turned you around.
Well,
you're
look,
back,
man,
you're once again a Belichick stan.
I've been a Belichick stan the whole time. Again, this notion, I can change my opinions. That's why everyone's like, oh, when Ruther's wrong about the Bengals. Dude, I'm allowed to change my opinion. I'm not Skip Bayless, a fake sports take guy who would just continue to say Aaron Rodgers or LeBron or whatever, the Cowboys, whatever stupid shit he's been saying for 8, 10, 20 years. No, I can change my opinion. I will say this. I think if the Bills win this week, they will go to the Super Bowl. I like that take. I think if they win this week, they go to the Super Bowl. I like them to come out of the AFC if they win this week, but I think it's going to be really hard. Again, Bill Belichick, he is the GOAT in these games. Not to say that the Bills don't have I think the Bills have a great staff. And I think that McDermott's a good coach, and who's their offensive coordinator?
DirtBall.
What's his name? Sable?
Brian DirtBall.
DirtBall. That's it. DirtBall. I think he's a good coach too, but this is Bill, this has Bill Belichick game written all over it. So I don't know, man. I'm going to right now go with the Patriots, just like you.
I think that, the thing about the Patriots is they're just like in these cold weather, low scoring, like they can just run the ball. They have an effective strategy in terms of running the ball in all kinds of different ways. Like that's what makes Belichick, and I guess to some extent McDaniels, like a great, coaching pair, which is, it's not just, I feel like you look at a lot of football teams and you're like, hey, we just need to run the ball this week. Their run defense is a little suspect. We're going to do this. It's like the Patriots throughout this run, they find a way to attack your weaknesses, and their running game will be different depending on who they're playing and what weakness they're attacking. And I just think that they're going to be able to run the ball. They have a Voltron of running backs that they just,
yeah.
I feel like with the Patriots, this week could be the week some guy literally who has 9 carries on the whole season, has 210 yards rushing, and you're like, who is this guy? And Bill Bell's like, I was asleep and I woke up, visions of this practice squad player dancing in my head. So I fucking put him on the roster, and now he's a fucking 200-yard rusher. Like, I just love it. I also think, the Bills over the year have had, they have had moments of certainly explosive offense, but when you look at it, Diggs has definitely become like a go-to guy. And I think you look at Belichick, even the guy on your shirt. I mean, he goes up to him pre-game. We've all seen that audio clip, and he was like, you're not catching the ball the whole game. Like, somebody else can beat us, but you're not catching the ball. I think he's going to do that with Diggs. I think they're going to be like, lock down Diggs, let everybody else beat you, and let's see what happens.
Yeah. No, I just got a text from Tyler Hawkins, who does great analytics for us. And I saw something similar to this. Right? It's kind of what I said. Josh Allen, when it's 32 degrees or below, his stats are terrible. He's completing 50% of his passes. He's thrown 6 touchdowns to 7 interceptions.
Sometimes I think the weather stats tend to be like a bit overblown.
I agree.
But it doesn't make me feel better if I'm a Bills fan. It doesn't make me feel better if I'm thinking about backing the Bills in the game. But sometimes I feel like those stats are overblown, because it's like, basically you're essentially only playing these games, I mean, in late in the year. So it's like they're playoff games or pseudo playoff games. Now, obviously the Bills had a game earlier in the year where they had that, what was that? Was it a Monday night game against the Patriots? And it's like, okay, if you get that early winter weather, now you have all that snow and all that wind. It's like, oh yeah, under 32 degrees. Yeah, but there was also 30-mile-an-hour winds with that under 32 degrees.
Sure. Well, coaching come playoffs, coaching is so important. It's so important. And Belichick's the GOAT, obviously. And again, I think Buffalo does have good coaches, but you're going against the best. That's another reason why I think the Bengals would win. Like I think, we disagree. I don't think Taylor's a good coach. I think they win in spite of him, but at the same token, he's going again against an interim head coach. By the way, here's a fun rug nug for everybody that I saw on Zach Taylor. He's 1-14 against coaches that are 45 and younger.
That's a good rug nug.
It's like basically saying you're not winning against the coaches, your contemporaries, guys your age that are young. Like you're not only winning, like you're getting destroyed. And let's not forget one more quick rug nug to remind about the Bengals. They've never won a game under Zach Taylor when they've been trailing heading into the fourth quarter. So important for the Raiders to maybe get a lead heading into the fourth quarter.
The Raiders. It's so tough for me. That's gonna be, I know not to go back to it, but that's gonna be a tough rooting game. I'll be rooting for a good game, but like, I kind of want to see the Raiders win, but at the same time, it's great for the show if the Bengals win.
Yeah. And I'm not going to the game. Many people have messaged me. Are you going? If I go, the Bengals lose, but I'm not going. I'm not.
Will you? I would say it's a, is it a strong possibility? No, but is it a possibility? Yeah. Will you be at SoFi if the Bengals play in a Super Bowl?
No. Here's what's crazy. If things play out like they should and the Bengals win, I would like the Bengals. I don't know if I would like them. I don't know. I have to wait and see against Tennessee if it was a second round Tennessee matchup. I love that the NFL reseeds. I like how they do that.
Yeah.
I think it's smart and fair. All right. So let's move on to Sunday's games.
Sunday. Is there 2 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and 1 on Monday? Is that the schedule?
Yeah. So we have Sunday. We have Philly at Tampa Bay. Obviously, we're both going to pick the Bucs. Do you think it's a blowout? The Bucs are 8.5-point favorites.
I do. I absolutely do. This is not me on the Philly hatred. This is not me, Tom Brady slurping, but I do think that you have a couple of situations here. I think you have a Philadelphia team. Tom Brady definitely still thinks about that Philly Super Bowl. He definitely still thinks about it. We've heard of the Tom Brady revenge games over the years. This is a Tom Brady revenge game for sure. I also think last year in the first round, they got a little bit of a scare from Washington. And I think, you look at that, that's their closest game they play throughout the playoffs, basically, is that Washington game, the first round. I think that they smarten up, don't possibly get caught in that first round, come out. You're a better team. You're at home. You got to come out and you got to kick their ass. And I think they do. I think it's a 2 touchdown football game.
Now let's not forget they played earlier this year, Thursday Night Football in Philly. The Bucs had a 28-7 lead. Philly came back and cut it to 28-22. There's some garbage time stuff. Remember they went for 2, which screwed me in the spread. I remember because it was 6.5, and I was like, "Why are you going for 2? Don't go for 2." So the Bucs essentially dominated them earlier in the year. I agree. I think they win, and I think they win big. And I don't think Philly's our defense can stop. I know they're short receivers, and I know they're short guy. Dude, you still have Mike Evans.
And then the big question mark, right? If you're an Eagles fan, is you make the playoffs at 9-8. You go on the road. You don't even get a home playoff game for like ticket and parking sales. You get your ass kicked, which I'm predicting. And now you've got a middle of the round draft pick. It's almost like you've abandoned your own strategy. It's almost like the idea of, unless you're going to win the Super Bowl, lose every fucking game and pick in the top 5 was bullshit all along.
Yeah.
Now, they fired that coach because of that decision, but I don't know if that was his decision or an organizational decision or whatever. But for all you Philly fans out there who defended it, this is even more for the fans than for what is this? When you get your ass kicked, I'm going to say when you get your ass kicked this weekend, is this an even bigger fail than going 4-13? It's not. Now, for fans of reasonable fans,
making the playoffs is good.
For reasonable fans, making the playoffs is good. Everybody wants to see growth in their team, but also like as a fan of my team, I would never root in the NFL to actively lose. But that's the difference between me and Eagles fans.
If I'm an Eagles fan, I'm happy that we made the playoffs under a first-year coach. That's not easy, right? I'd be happy about that. Now, the quarterback situation, long term, we tend to agree there. I don't think Jalen Hurts is the solution long term. I just don't. And not that he's terrible. He's great for fantasy. That's all I ever hear about is fantasy. It's great for fantasy, sure, because he'll score a rushing touchdown, throw a passing touchdown. But obviously, they're a good enough team to win 9 games. So you just need to solidify that quarterback situation. But that's not an easy situation to solidify.
Yeah. You just need to solidify that quarterback situation. Sure. The Vikings just need to solidify their quarterback situation so that they have a chance to win their first Super Bowl ever. The Broncos just need to solidify their quarterbacks. Like, yeah, the amount of teams out there who are solidifying their quarterback situation away from being a contender.
Yeah.
But you're 9-7 running the Wildcat, getting some road playoff money. Let's go.
I think you're just looking obviously for a way to take digs, but you know, the Giants, you just lost your coach, so they fired Judge.
Yeah.
It's not like that's you guys are in a much worse situation right now. You seem to not agree.
It's one way to look at it.
You think the Giants are not in a worse situation than the Eagles?
Well, I'll tell you this right now. The difference between the Giants and the Eagles, first of all, and I mean this wholeheartedly, the Giants aren't committed in supporting their quarterback as the long-term answer. And I think he's better than the Eagles quarterback. I truly believe Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. And yet the Giants are like, we're not, is this the guy? Is this not the guy? So I would almost argue I'd rather not be like, I'd rather be in a position where I have a guy where we don't know whether or not he's the future, and we have a new coach coming in, and we have a new GM coming in, and we have a new whatever coming in, than being like, we were 9-7 and we played the playoffs in our first year. It's the Jalen Hurts show for the next 10 seasons.
I don't think the Eagles are committed to that. They're not committed. I don't think that's fair to say that they're committed to Jalen Hurts, that he's
they're not committed financially, but you don't hear anything, right? I guess we'll see after this weekend.
There was chatter for a while about the Eagles and Deshaun Watson. There was chatter. And let's say, not that that's going to happen, but if they got a Deshaun Watson, they're right there then.
Well, listen, Deshaun Watson joining,
honestly,
probably any NFC East team at this point makes them the favorite to win the division next year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So great. So we're on the same page where it's like, is one team that much a better situation if in the entire division, if a quarterback changes everything? Like if let's say you took the Eagles or the Giants, right? And we're saying if you add a Deshaun Watson or whoever, let's just take Deshaun Watson. Now the Giants probably wouldn't add a Deshaun Watson. The Eagles like to get guys straight out of the penitentiary. They're like, can you unlock his handcuffs? We're going to make him our starting quarterback. The Giants don't tend to do stuff like that.
They should.
But just for the sake of argument, since you're saying like they're in a way better position, are the Giants a better team than the Eagles today if they have Deshaun Watson and the Eagles have Jalen Hurts?
I mean, I think Deshaun Watson is really good.
Right. So we agree. But if you drop either of those teams in the AFC West, Are they the best or the second best team in the AFC West if you add Deshaun Watson? No. So we're talking about a situation where I don't think it's safe to say that any team, especially a team, by the way, the Giants beat the Eagles with Daniel. Like, we're all judging the New York Football Giants, and rightfully so, especially the coaching situation on 6 weeks of Mike Glennon. I mean, that's taking your quarterback situation and saying we're playing without a quarterback, essentially.
Yeah.
But if you think, giving one guy who hasn't played football for a year to one of the two teams and it makes them better than the other one, then they're not like in a world's better position.
The Eagles also have 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
With that Carson Wentz trade. Like, you can really help your team with 3 first-round picks, even if just 2 pan out to be decent players.
And I'm just over here going, don't draft a quarterback. Don't draft a quarterback with that first-round pick. Please don't.
All right. Niners travel to.
And we'll come back to the Giants coaching situation.
Sure.
After we do these games.
Niners travel to Dallas. I think the Niners win this game.
Me too.
The Cowboys are 3-point favorites. I think the Niners win this game.
It's not the NBA. We've talked about this. We've talked about this theory in the NBA, but I even in football, way less important. But I like to think about, and I was talking to this to Nate Craig yesterday, former guest of the show, while we were driving back from golf. Deebo Samuel will be the best player on the field. Like, you look at, like, the Niners have, I mean, if you go through the top 8 players in this game, how many of them are on the Niners? I mean, I think you'd say Micah Parsons is in the top 8 players in the thing.
Deebo's better than Dak, his value.
Honestly, at this point, I mean, what he's been able, he's running the ball, the catches, the yards after catch. Like, yeah, I kind of think he is.
I don't know about that one.
I mean, I don't know about in terms of value, because you can't, like, play quarterback, but, like, he's the best player he's going to be the best player on the field.
Yeah, but if you did go down that list, you got some really good receivers on Dallas. Zeke at this point in his career is, he's kind of mediocre. But you still got you got Micah Parsons, who's really, really fucking good. I just think the Niners play good team football.
I think they're going to run the ball all over the Cowboys.
Yeah. I think they're going to run the ball, and then they're going to keep the offense from Dallas off the field, and then they get to the quarterback. That's the recipe. When those guys, and I saw it live in Cincinnati this year, when those guys start teeing off, I saw Burrow get sacked, I think, 6 times. When those guys tee off, the D-line for the Niners, doesn't matter how good your wide receivers are.
And listen, the Cowboys are a fine football team. They're fine. I have my NFC East hatred, and I think I just laid that all out in my hatred of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Cowboys are not the Eagles. The Cowboys are a better team than the Eagles. But the Cowboys truly have, like, the Cowboys feel like I don't know what the college equivalent is, but like an ACC team, like that beats up on all the shitty teams. But then when they have that one game a year where they have to go against an SEC team, they get their shit kicked. And, I just think they're a team that plays really well and looks really good when they play bad teams. Their offense looks so explosive, but, like, this is like the paper tiger game, right? Like, this is what we've seen from the Cowboys the last few years. It's like, you scored 51 points last week. Do we think they scored 25 this week?
Yeah, I think they do. I think the important thing to note about the Cowboys is They have like let's just look at their season. Let's just look at who they beat, right? Now, early on, they had some good wins, some close wins. Like they won at the Chargers second week. They won at the Patriots in overtime. But since then, like since Halloween, who've they beat? That's like good. They lost to the Raiders at home. They lost to the Chiefs on the road. They lost to the Cardinals at home. Like, you look at their last 10 games, it does fit that analogy of like, look who they're playing, look who they're beating. They're not beating like really good squads. And not to mention, a lot of these games, they just weren't in. They were never in that. Like that Raiders game went to overtime. They were dominated that game. They were dominated that Cardinals game. Those are two home games. This is a home game.
I said it. I just said it 2 seconds ago. I'll say it again. The Cowboys are the kind of team comes out and scores 50 points, hangs 50 burgers on a shitty team. I don't think the Cowboys scored 25 points in this game. 27, 24. San Francisco.
Yeah. I like the Niners too, man. All right, your Sunday night game.
They're going to run the ball all over the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys will struggle offensively.
I mean, obviously, the Cowboys have a huge
struggle offensively. What's that?
The Cowboys have a huge edge at quarterback.
I wouldn't say they have a huge edge. You say they have a huge edge?
I would.
I don't think the statistics show that.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Jimmy G's kind of, he's hurt.
Sure, he's hurt. No, I'm not saying that Dak's not better than Jimmy G. I'm just saying, I would it be? Is it huge?
I think it's pretty significant.
Let me ask you something right now, because I don't know what the exact. I know Jimmy G gets paid a fair amount of money,
sure.
but also, like we all know, like 5 years later, that money isn't as much as like you look at a Dak who's getting paid more now. Like, would you rather a $35 million Dak on your roster or a $20 million Jimmy G on your roster?
Well, it depends about your other pieces.
Well, the other pieces are determined by how much you spend on your quarterback, right?
At this point, I'd probably rather have a lower mid-tier quarterback like a Jimmy G.
The Niners would rather have a $50 million Patrick Mahomes or a $20 million Jimmy G.
Well, Mahomes is next level. Of course, I want
Great.
Patrick Mahomes.
So we agree that it's not a huge gap between these two. That's just my point. ESPN NFL total QBR. Dak Prescott total QBR 54.9. Jimmy Garoppolo 5 spots below that at 52.6. Between the two of those guys, Carson Wentz, Burrow, Wilson, Carr.
The thing about Jimmy G is I think he can make passes when he has to. I mean, I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Like he is weathered. He was
I'm not a Jimmy Garoppolo defender by any means. That's not what I'm here doing.
I'm not either.
I'm here more putting Dak's career and season in, context of what I think is like to me, it's like I almost like Jimmy G more in a game where it's a fucking battle than I do. It's like, sure, who do I take in a game where, one team's going to kick the other team's ass? Dak's going to look great. Dak's going to look so, he's going to look so mobile. He's going to look so good. He's going to put up 50 points. It's game manage time. It's the playoffs. Jimmy G's been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Jimmy G does have, obviously he was on a very stacked team that year, but he's got playoff experience. Dak does too, but Jimmy G's been to a Super Bowl. The last game I think will be a stinker. Last game on Sunday night. The Chiefs, who just destroyed the Steelers, right now are 12.5-point favorites. The Steelers have a decent defense. Their offense is atrocious. This is a terrible game, I think.
This is the sole reason that Brandon Staley should be fired.
Yes.
If you want to look at if you were making an argument, the first argument I would make if I was going in front of the Supreme Court and arguing that the Chargers should be forced by our government to fire Brandon Staley, it would be that he's making us sit through a Steelers Chiefs primetime super wild card weekend game. How dare you?
Yeah. Nobody wants this. Nobody but Steelers fans. And this notion that like Big Ben is gonna, dude, I know anything can happen. He's not pulling this off. No, this is the only game where I'm like, no way. No way. Oh, Ben is gonna ride this out and get one last big win. They can't score. The Steelers offense is so just it's just disgusting to watch.
And you know what? I kind of you're convincing me a little bit. It was a little bit of a Cinderella story that he gets the win and it gives him a chance to get into the playoffs. And he could have, he refused to take his helmet off post game while he was like crying into his mouthpiece. They're crying into his fucking chin strap, talking about Jesus. I mean, the PR campaign of turning Ben Roethlisberger, two-time sexual assault, a two-time accused sexual assaulter, into like a Jesus freak. It's unreal.
It's unbelievable.
But it would have been almost fitting. It's like he did everything he could. He got them the win. He willed them to a chance at the playoffs, and they didn't get in through no fault of their own because these two teams tied. You would have had a Ben Roethlisberger like hobbling off into the sunset a little bit. You almost talked me into, you know what? This is the way it should end. It should end with the Chiefs locking the hotel room door behind the Steelers and just violently assaulting them in Arrowhead.
That's what's going to happen. This is what the Steelers. This is what the Steelers team is.
Now you can't leave.
Yeah. So if I'm out of food, but I know there's something that isn't the most like if I say I don't want to eat something completely unhealthy, but I'm out of food, I got to go grocery shopping. What's something that I can just whip up real quick that's going to get the job done? That's not terrible. That's something that I don't mind tasting. It's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And to me, that's what the Steelers team is. They're the boring, bland, but it'll get the job done. It'll go 9-7-1. It's the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. No banana on it. Just one normal PB&J.
If I was Patrick Mahomes, now Patrick Mahomes is kind of a fucking dork who can't even get his brother to stop dancing on graves on the sideline. But if I was if I was the starting court, if I was the superstar quarterback of the Chiefs who has $500 million to play with, do you know what I would do this weekend? I would hire, if I had to pay him $1 million in cash in fucking small bills, I would hire the security guard who wouldn't let the girl leave the bathroom. That Ben is all, and I would make him stand by the locker room entrance for the Steelers. And I'd be like, no, you're not allowed to go back in the locker room yet. You need to stay here and get your shit destroyed. And when Ben tries to go to the locker room at halftime, he pushes him back in. It ain't fucking over yet.
Savage. That's pretty savage. Well, Joe, before we get to the last game, I want to remind everybody to go head on over to FanDuel this weekend. And there's a great promotion going on at FanDuel because it's wild card weekend. And guess what? It's about to get wilder. That's right, guys. Just when you thought it couldn't get wilder, it's getting wilder. FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking up new customers 30-1 enhanced odds when they make a deposit. So that means if you bet $5, you can win $150 on any team to win and on any wild card game. So that's a good little promotion there.
That's great.
Right? So 30-1 on any team to win on any game. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. It's a simple and easy to use app with generous promotions every day. It's safe and secure with best-in-class customer service. When you win, FanDuel will pay your winnings in as little as 2 hours. And if you already have FanDuel Sportsbook, because I know a lot of you do, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with $50 when you refer a friend. Plus, your friend will get $50 too. So don't miss your chance to win $150 off a $5 bet when you use promo code DIRTY when signing up. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, use promo code DIRTY, and pick your wildcard team before playoffs or before kickoff. I'm sorry. And with those 30-1 odds, you should take the Chiefs or the Bucs. That's my advice to you. Okay, let's get to this last game. A good one. I'm excited about this. Monday Night Wild Card Football.
I'm excited. First of all, I'm very excited for this game. I'm on the fence as to how I feel about Monday Night Football. I like it in terms of, wow, what great for us, great for the fans, great product, Monday Night Football playoff, but then also kind of sucks to be the winner of this game, right? You're playing on a short week, and next week you're on the road almost guaranteed. You are guaranteed on the road.
I never thought of that. It's a good point.
You're guaranteed on the road next week on a short week.
Yeah. Well, unless there's some wild upsets, right?
I still don't even think there could be wild. Like, even if the other team,
you're right.
Even if the other NFC team wins.
Well, no, this is a 4-5 game. So let's say,
So even if the Eagles win the other game, right? So then the Eagles, whatever, they still go to the highest seed. This team goes to play the top seed no matter what.
Yeah. Well, you're right. I looked at it the other way. At first I was like, oh, they get an extra day of rest, but they don't, because then it just comes back. I don't know what to expect in this game, to be honest. This is the one game where I'm unsure. I just don't know who's going to show up at quarterback for the Rams. I think Kyler Murray will show up for them. I just think he can't have costly turnovers. I think the spread is 3.5. It's it's right where it should be. I think it's going to be a field goal game.
I guess there's a chance if the Niners won and the Eagles won, that they would play a home game. I guess.
Well, coaching, I've brought up coaching. I'm going to give the clear coaching edge to the experienced coach, Sean McVay. Dude, Matthew Stafford's the wild card for me. That's all it boils down to.
Well, I think everybody can agree on that. I am a Stafford believer. I believe in Stafford. I believe in Stafford McVay. I believe in, what it really comes down to, what I think this game comes down to more than anything is, and this is where the McVay offensive genius thing is like always, I like McVay. I'm a McVay fan. Where his genius is a little bit overblown is if they can't run the ball, their offense sputters.
Yeah.
With Goff, with Stafford, with whatever. Now, I almost think that Stafford has the ability. Well, I do think, I don't almost think, I do think Stafford has the ability to be the kind of guy. We've seen it in Detroit, obviously not to the terms of tons of playoff success, but where you could just drop him back and throw the ball 50 times if you need to. That's not their game plan. That's not what they like to do no matter what. So, they like to set everything up through this play action. They set everything up by being able to run the ball. They've run the ball pretty effectively. They didn't run it that effectively against the Niners last week, but I think they're going to be able to run the ball a little bit better against this Cardinals team. I think this is going to have a chance of being a really, really good game, especially Monday night primetime vibes. They're going to have the whole day to think about it. But I like the Rams running the ball and setting up their offense. And I think that's why you see a good Matthew Stafford. And I like the Rams to win a close game.
If they don't win this game, Stafford's under contract next year. I mean, if I'll say this much, if the Rams don't win this game, this is absolutely a major blow to Stafford's entire career. Unless he came back next year and they win the Super Bowl or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're the favorite, you're at home, you got all the pieces for the most part.
I think what it does is
it reinforces every stereotype on him.
Right. Which is, in my opinion, a little bit unfair still, because you're like, oh, can't win a playoff game. All right, he's been on the Lions. So year one, but I agree. I mean, I think what tears down that, in my opinion, kind of shitty storyline of his career is that you show up year one and you do win a couple playoff games. So I think it's going to be a close game, just because I think it's tough. It's tough to like blow out teams that you've played 3 times in a year in your division. They kicked your ass the first time, you beat them the second time. I like the Rams to win, but I think this could be a field goal game. But I like the Rams to win. I just think the Rams are going to be able to run the ball better than they did last week. It's like the question mark. I don't think anybody wants to play the 49ers right now. And I think everybody's sort of judging this Rams team and what's to come on how they played last week against the Niners. Whereas if you go back the last couple of weeks, they've won prior to the Niners game. They won a lot of games where they didn't play their best and they still won the games. I like this Rams team to win the game.
I think they win too, and I think it will be close. To me, I think the difference is the Rams defense in this game. You still don't have DeAndre Hopkins. And this is an experience. This is a Rams team who, let's not forget, they won with a backup quarterback in Seattle last year. Again, no fans, but still. Then they gave the Packers, that was a decent game, remember, in Lambeau.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what it comes down to. I mean, Aaron Donald is arguably the best. I know people want to argue TJ Watt, but I think Aaron Donald wreaks more havoc. He doesn't have the stat line. I'll argue that with anybody.
Interior lineman versus a linebacker who's edge rushing.
But what he does for that defense, and then Jalen Ramsey is a lockdown corner. So I have to just go with let's
not forget Odell Beckham. They have Odell Beckham.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
What are we getting a playoff Beckham bet?
$75 in Jersey Mike's gift cards in the hole to you.
Yeah.
After this week, I might be in the whole big for some Bengals bets as well. Oh, I mean, what are you trying to bet? Touchdown again?
I mean, I don't know. You tell me. I mean, there was I tried to give you some yards bet, or we could get a receptions bet or something going, because it seems like, you're like, okay, cool, whatever. He scores a touchdown. First of all, playoff touchdowns. I mean, here's what I'll say. I'll give you, if you want to go a touchdown bet, and this is a reckless bet on my part. But if you were willing to get involved in a touchdown bet, I would give you an even money Odell Beckham touchdown bet. There's no way the odds on FanDuel are plus 100 that he scores a touchdown in this game. Anytime scorer, 1-1, absolutely not. But for the sake of your growing Jersey Mike's debt, if you want to go 1-1 on a touchdown, I'll give it to you. Because I think Odell is a gamer. I think Odell is a winner. And I thought Odell wins.
I feel like that's an easier. I feel like there's better odds of like him scoring like he keeps doing a 7-yard out touchdown than it is of him getting 70 yards in the game.
Okay. Well, if you want to bet on a 70-yard game instead of a touchdown, now I want 1.5 to 1.
I'm looking right now.
I guarantee you it's more like plus 160 or plus 170 Odell Beckham anytime scorer.
Put it in. His receiving yards is 46.5 over under. His touchdowns. I'm too stupid. This line 0.5 over plus 120, under plus 340.
Sorry, say that again.
The line is 0.5.
0.5 touchdowns, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And what's it? What is it?
The over is plus 120. The under.
Wow. It's lower than I thought. So yeah, it's plus 120. So it's basically win bet 100, win 120.
So I'm saying it's not.
So here's the offer I'm going to make to you, Andy. I'm going to make to you. They have him as it's plus 120 on the touchdown and it's 46 on the over under.
46 and a half. 46 and a half.
So how about this? 2-to-1 prop parlay. Your $50 in Jersey Mike's gift cards to my 25. I say Odell scores a touchdown and over 55 yards receiving.
Ooh, 55 yards and a touch.
55 yards and a touch. 2-to-1. Both have to happen. Okay. If they do, your $50 gift card. If they don't, 25 to you.
Okay.
Lock it in.
Yeah, and if he does one or the other, it's just a push.
No, if he does one or the other, you win.
Okay.
He has to do both. I could have taken that. I could have taken that escape hatch that you presented for me, but no.
I appreciate that.
2-to-1. If he does both, if he does neither or one, you win.
So he's got to get 55 yards
and a touch.
So we basically have it at 54 and a half.
Correct.
And a touch. Okay. Run that ball, Rams. Just keep running that ball.
They're going to run that ball. Here's what I predict. They're going to run the ball off tackle to open the game. Then they're going to run the exact same play action. He goes over 70 yards and a touch on the second play of the game.
Wow.
Big black Jesus.
You get that ball to Cooper Kupp a lot.
Oh, they absolutely are. I mean, honestly, that's the thing with. I wonder even if they'll. I'm interested to see where Odell ends up next year, because I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up back with the Rams. And if he does, I'm buying an off-white Odell Rams jersey if he ends up back there next year, because I just think that that's where their offense is now. Is you're going to see them try to feed Cooper Kupp a lot, because that's what their offense is built around. But if the Cardinals are smart, that will be they'll do what I've said Belichick should do with Diggs and say, stop Cooper Kupp at all costs. And if that happens, I love my chances of them feeding a guy who can just win on routes.
Well, let's get to the calls. We can start off with an NFL related call. 310-359-8365 is the hotline. Here's a call for Packers fans.
Hey, Joe and Andy, number one DirtBall from South Bend, Indiana, Stephen Dermer calling. Being a Packers fan, obviously stoked to see him get the number one seed. Had it last year, didn't really matter too much, but hoping this year can be a little more different. But if you're them, obviously you want to see the Eagles win because that'd be the easiest matchup. But obviously Cowboys have a legitimate chance of losing to the 49ers. If you're the Packers, are you hoping that it's not the 49ers, or since you already beat them once, are you not really worried about that and kind of just whoever you got to play is who you got to play? I mean, obviously that's how it is, but every team has their choice. But just want to see what you guys think. Thanks, guys. Stay dirty.
I think if you gave a choice to the Green Bay Packers of all the potential teams that they could play next, the last one they would pick is the 49ers.
I agree. I think they'd much rather want the Cowboys coming to Lambeau. That 49ers offense, I think, is meant for that cold run.
They probably would want the Eagles first.
Yeah.
Then the Cowboys. Then I guess, Cardinals, Rams even. I would say they would want the Niners last of everybody.
I mean, the Bucs obviously beat them last year in Lambeau. No fans though. Oh yeah, I'd rather, if I was the Packers, I'd rather want the 49ers over the Rams. It's already, there was, I don't know, against Stafford. I just something about the division and Aaron Rodgers.
If you're the Packers, you'd rather face the Niners next week than the Rams?
No, I'm sorry. I'd rather face the Rams than the Niners.
Yeah, I agree. I just think the Niners, somebody's going to be, I don't think the Niners are going to the Super Bowl. I don't think they are. But I think in terms of what you don't want to see in the playoffs, the last thing you want to see in the playoffs is a team that's going to run the ball. It's going to get after you on defense.
Get after your
quarterback. It's going to grind you down. Like, honestly, I know we talk about the Garoppolo Dak thing, but like, I almost feel like if you're a high-powered team, if you're a Niners team, or if you're whoever, the last thing you want to see is a Jimmy Garoppolo coming in there ready to game manage. You're like, oh yeah, let's me and Dak have a shootout. I'm into this. Let's see who wins. Best man wins. You don't want to see Jimmy Garoppolo coming in, looking all handsome, be like, I can't wait to hand off the ball against you motherfuckers.
You know what gets lost in the mix about Jimmy G, by the way? I was laughing with my buddy during the Niners Bengals game about this. He's like such a good looking guy, and he loves just like porn stars. Like
thick ones.
Like that's what's hilarious. Like, I don't even say hilarious. Like, I have respect for him because he's got model looks, and he's just like, nah, that's cool. I'm going to go on a date with a porn star and hold her hand.
Managing. He's like, what's up, baby? We ain't going out to some fucking fancy place. I'm not driving around in my Ferrari doing high-profile quarterbacking. Come to my hotel room. I'm about to game manage your ass.
And apparently he was like, of course, I followed that story closely. That's like the Andy Ruther wheelhouse story. Jimmy G goes on date with porn star. Her quote was she had to tap out. Because Jimmy G, he wanted to manage that game all night long. And what better place to manage that game than Green Bay?
Yeah. But they got to get through Dallas first.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder if you saw this. I'm going to play this next call. I did see this, and I agree with the caller.
Hey, what's up, Joe and Andy? It's Army DirtBall Randy here, calling from JBLM in Washington. I was just listening to the episode from yesterday. You guys were talking about, if you were wondering if the Manning cast was going to happen on the playoff game for Monday. And I was wondering if you guys heard this shit coming out that they might do a Manning cast type thing, but for baseball with Alex Rodriguez. I can't think of another person who I would less like to listen to on that style of a show. except for, I don't know, maybe Joe Buck. I don't know, he just fucking annoys me. Yeah, didn't know if you guys heard about it. I don't remember if you guys talked about it on the show. If not, I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, stay dirty, boys.
I did not hear that.
Oh, dude, I was reading all about it.
Here's my thoughts on that. A couple things. There are a lot of people I'd want to hear less than A-Rod. I don't hate A-Rod. I actually don't even mind A-Rod that much in terms of things. I think they put A-Rod in a pretty fucking terrible situation on Sunday Night Baseball. I think A-Rod would be decent at it, and it would be an improvement in the format for him to do something like that than participate in Sunday Night Baseball the way he does. That being said, the best part of the Manning cast is how casual it is.
And the humor.
A-Rod is a dork.
Yes.
A-Rod is humorless.
Exactly.
A-Rod is whatever. And the thing is with baseball, there's a million guys who have a more of a Manning type of attitude than A-Rod. So yeah, A-Rod isn't last on the list, but he's far from the top. And I'll just say this. I know I have a lot of New York, bias, but guys, if you have MLB ticket or whatever it is, MLB game day app, if you get things, the New York Mets have been doing this for 15 years. Keith Hernandez and Ron Darling, the few times a year, it's like 12 times a year where they actually get there together, because they fucking do this like we're both going to vacation throughout the season, which is hilarious. And part of it, like the Mannings, they don't do it every week. But on the 25 games a year where Ron and Keith are in the booth, they do them. They've been doing this for 15 years. They're funny. They're teammates. They talk about in code things that happened when they were playing. Then they're open about other things. They're the best. If you enjoy the Manning cast, watch Keith Hernandez and Ron Darling together. And in what is probably some of the best Mets news I've heard since they sold the team to Steve Cohen, Keith Hernandez will be having his number retired on July 9th, I believe, this year.
So this is what the plan would be. It would be A-Rod and Michael K.
Awful. Michael K. I can't believe this guy brought up this conversation and didn't mention Michael K. is the last person I would want.
So he's the TV voice for the Yankees.
He's the worst.
So Sunday Night Football will now be Carl Ravitch is going to do the play-by-play.
Sunday Night Baseball.
And it's going to be, this is separate. And the analyst will be David Cohn and Eduardo Perez.
I like David Cohn.
I think Eduardo Perez is
Yeah, I like David Cohn a lot.
So it'd be those three. And then separately, you'd have Michael K. and A-Rod.
A-Rod in some sort of Yankees only broadcast. Honestly, it's amazing. He was like, I can't think of anybody. And then you read the story and they were like, oh, you can't think of anybody? How about Michael K? The fucking worst. Do you know Michael K spent time this offseason complaining about how much money the Mets are spending? And being like, how are teams supposed to compete? When he made his entire living talking Yankees baseball and being like, the team with the biggest budget won. The team with the biggest payroll won. The money wins. It's a walk-off home run for the guy who made the most money in baseball this year for the team that spent the most money won. Michael K is the worst. I'd rather listen to Joe Buck read the Encyclopedia Britannica backwards than have Michael K call a baseball game.
Yes, I don't know.
I'd rather listen to Joe Buck read the fucking phone book than listen to Michael K talk about literally anything.
So
I'd rather listen to Joe Buck read me my last rites than listen to Michael K call a baseball game. I'd rather have Joe Buck over me in the hospital giving me my fucking death sentence.
So the national championship game was Monday. Bama lost, if anybody didn't watch it. Anyway, I'm going to play a quick call of a frustrated dirtball.
Did you watch any of the game, by the way?
I did. I watched it was like background noise, if that makes sense. Like I had it on, but I wasn't paying attention. I didn't really even start paying attention until the fourth quarter when it got good. But we have a call, a dirtball who hasn't called in 2 years. So I was like, okay, I'm going to play his call.
Hey, to everyone calling, defending the current college football playoff system, Division II playoffs are 16 teams, and Division III playoffs is 32 goddamn teams. It is doable. There is no reason not to. Fuckers.
Hey, we've been saying it all along. We just wanted to reinforce it.
Sometimes dirtballs, you got to remember to tell us who you are, because I want to praise you, sir. I want to praise you for being a fucking reasonable person. All the other people were like, hey, it's your number one so-and-so dirtball. You know me on Twitter at blah, 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 blah. And then they go, here's the worst take of all time.
True. Hey, short, quick, and to the point. I like it. Okay, we got a call. I'm going to have to, and I'll make this quick. A call about my scramble. JT from Jersey. By the way, JT from Jersey calls all the time.
I love it. Get this guy on the phone.
What's up, you dirty motherfuckers? JT from Jersey here. Coming at you with the question about the famous, the historic, the groundbreaking Andy Ruther Scrambler.
The egg breaking.
Andy, I know we've talked about this on the show for years. I've been trying to recreate it in my own kitchen. I've been, working for years, looking for the right spices or ingredients. And, I'm going to be honest, I'm at a breaking point here, and I need you to tell me, Ruther Scrambler, what are we doing? Are we doing potatoes? How are we doing the eggs? What kind of meat? What's the veggies? What kind of seasoning? Tell me what the fuck is up, Ruther. I need it, man. I need it in a bad way. So, condoms are for all you Joe Bartnick fans out there. I know you're out there. And stay dirty, fellas.
JT from Jersey.
Legend. A great call.
I mean, look, dude.
How did we not have Nick D'Alessandro do like a full cooking show, Fuckboy Scramble episode? Well,
I know I've posted it.
Yeah,
I know I've posted it on Twitter.
Take us through it step by step, though, Andy.
Okay.
Because I gotta say, the Fuckboy Scramble is good. It's solid.
By the way, it's been modified over the years, and this is no lie. I eat this meal. I bet you I eat it 6 out of 7 days a week. So it's a really simple meal. I get 3 brown eggs. Everything is from Trader Joe's, for the record. 3 brown eggs. Mix it with some almond milk for to scramble.
Omelet style.
Yeah. So, it's basically, it's for the record, you want to do the 3 eggs and you want to do them whole. None of this, I don't think people take out the yolks anymore, but that's important. I dice. So I do that. I'll cut up some red pepper.
So you got some eggs. You scramble them, obviously,
and
with some almond milk. And you leave them in the bowl. You're sitting. Yeah. Okay.
I leave them in the bowl.
Salt, pepper? Not yet.
Let's just. So I leave those in the bowl. While I'm doing that, I dice up some
slice and dice
green red pepper and some cherry tomatoes. While I'm dicing that up, I'm cooking.
Doing a lot of things. Okay, keep going.
Well, I let what is it, like the Applewood turkey bacon?
Applewood turkey bacon. Yep.
That's cooking. I also have a whole avocado. So I've
now
cut
when
up.
You cook the bacon in whole pieces?
I cut it up into 4 pieces. So the The turkey bacon is cooking while I'm dicing up the green and red pepper, cherry tomato, and the avocado. Take that off, cut up the bacon more. What now it's all heated up. Throw on some butter, so it doesn't stick. Dump the eggs, which I've already stirred, in there, and they cook pretty quickly because it's been heated up. Start, pushing them around, scrambling them around. Then I dump a bunch of spinach.
Now, turkey bacon, not as greasy as regular bacon. Are you getting rid of your grease between?
No, because there's no grease. That's why you need the butter.
Yeah, got it.
So then I throw the eggs in there, toss the spinach. The spinach also is good because the moisture from the spinach will help move things around.
Gets that wet scramble.
Yeah. And it'll harden quickly. Do that. I'll put in one slice of toast that I cut diagonally. one slice of like, wheat, whole wheat, whatever grain, whatever you want. Mix in the spinach with the eggs. Then I dump everything else back in, mix everything back in. That comes out. I'll put pepper on. Now I'm on the plate. It's going on the plate. I put the pepper on. I grab the key ingredient for me.
Pepper meaning pepper from a shaker.
Yes, black
not
pepper.
Peppers. Yeah,
black pepper. Sorry. The key ingredient is the Trader Joe's Pepita salsa. That's the final ingredient on top.
Pepita.
I think it's a great salsa with eggs. It's got a little kick to it. So if you're kind of a bitch, like one of my older brothers, who I felt it was disrespectful to not like the pepita on it, but you get the pepita, you put it on it,
pepita,
and there you go. And I have a nice hot green tea with that as well every morning. And that's the famous Andy Ruther scramble. And it's very relaxing and therapeutic. It's a great way to start your day. I can send you pics if you need it. Now, I used to have mushrooms in there, but that changed to peppers. It's better with peppers.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe I should do. Maybe I should film that. I've been doing some other dishes now too. I love to cook. I like to cook, man. I'm not saying I'm the best cook, but I like to improvise. I like to fuck around. I made some bomb tacos the other day with mac and cheese in them.
Mac and cheese tacos.
Yeah.
This is some Cincinnati shit if I've ever heard it.
So
you've heard of macaroni with chili. Have you heard of macaroni in your tacos?
Well, so there's this really good place called Agave and Rye in Cincinnati. They did like massive taco, like one taco is huge. And on a few of the tacos, they have mac and cheese in it. So I was stoned one night and my sister-in-law had come over and there was some truffle mac and cheese. And my other sister-in-law had made tacos that she gave me with. So I improvised, right? And I put the chicken with the mac and cheese and the salsa, and I forget what else, the lettuce. I mean, it was so good. I honestly think it's like I might start.
Now you're not even talking about cooking. You're just Mike D'Antoniing a fucking roster somebody else has put together for you. You're like, I had somebody else's tacos and somebody else's macaroni. And then I turned macaroni into a point guard and I put it inside the tacos.
Yeah.
You didn't even cook either of them.
No, I didn't. But I'm just saying, the late night antics tasted delicious. Anyway, that's the best way to wrap up the show. Now I'm hungry. I'm thinking about those mac and cheese tacos.
Well, we will dive in to some Giants head coaching searches next week because I know you're on a time crunch.
Yeah, I know. Appreciate that.
I got a lot of messages about my thoughts on the Giants coaching situation now. Obviously, more so than the GM situation. I have thoughts. I'll get into them next episode. I also have shows coming up. If you are a snowball, as I have called our north of the border dirt balls, I will be in Vancouver, BC. More specifically, I believe New Westminster at House of Comedy, BC, the weekend of January 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. Please come see me. I'm headlining those shows. Come see me. I'll also be in and around the Los Angeles area a lot over the next couple of weeks, opening Eddie's album taping in Irvine on the 22nd, doing a show next Wednesday, the 19th in Encinitas, I believe, down in San Diego. All of my shows, joeprano.com. And then follow me on Instagram and TikTok and all the social media platforms at Joe Prano, except for Twitter, where I'm at Fix Your Life. But yeah, traveling a lot for shows coming up. So keep your eye on them. Chicago and Milwaukee in February. All on joeprano.com.
Yeah, he just can't get enough of that Midwest, guys. He's got to come back.
It's kind of right around, like it has potential of being a post Super Bowl Milwaukee bliss. So for you Packers fans, come celebrate a potential championship and Sunday.
That'd be
Sunday
wild.
Night following the Super Bowl.
Well, that's all from me, guys. Much love for the support. You guys have a great NFL wildcard weekend. And as always, stay dirty.